Now he's writing our names, Sandra and Bill. We exited the bazaar by accident and saw this tower with all the cell phone antennas. Sitting on the street was this woman. Her face seems like a story waiting to be told. Back inside the bazaar with a shop of supposedly vintage toys. The instruments in this shop were beautifully crafted. I wanted to purchase an oud. These are tiny shoes for babies. And of course, the traditional costume for the tourists. What can I say? Sandy likes cats, and so do I. Leaving the Blue Mosque, you see the Hagia Sophia or Hagia Sophia in the distance. It is a former Christian patriarchal basilica, later a mosque, now a museum in Istanbul, Turkey. Famous in particular for its massive dome, it is considered the epitome of Byzantine architecture and to have changed the history of architecture. It was the largest cathedral in the world for nearly 1,000 years until the completion of the Seville Cathedral in 1520. Note the massive buttresses. A depiction of the inside of the mosque with the Sultan Mehmed looking on. This massive door is the entrance to the mosque, or museum now. Entering through the door, we look around in the passageway that kind of surrounds the main area, and the ceilings are covered with gold tile, and it's just beautiful. Unfortunately, there seemed to be a lot of construction or reconstruction going on, and they had massive scaffolding covering half the dome and the floor, so you couldn't get around all that well in some places. Once inside, one of the first things you see is this huge urn carved from a single piece of marble. Sandra wore a long skirt most of the time to conform with the local sense of modesty. A tourist is more accepted that way. In 1453, Constantinople was conquered by the Ottoman Turks, and Sultan Mehmed II ordered the building to be converted into a mosque. The Christian items were removed, and many of the mosaics were eventually plastered over. The Islamic features, such as the 4 minarets outside, were added over the course of history under the Ottomans. It remained as a mosque until 1935, when it was converted into a museum by the Republic of Turkey. I guess because Isa, or Christ, is mentioned often in the Quran, the Muslims felt it was okay to leave this on the ceiling. Maybe the plaster they might have put over it and other mosaics was later removed. Iznik is so famous for its tiles that some of them even are in this museum. Many of the columns have the insignia of Emperor Justinian. This old extension ladder is what they used to reach up to the lamps that were hanging down. Copies of the Koran were placed on the stands and read in this library. This ancient and huge candelabra was just sitting there. Perhaps it fell from the ceiling, as you can see perhaps from the dents in the top. This is the Emperor Constantine. We are now in the upper gallery which surrounds the lower part. This is a picture of a picture that was taken when there was no people cluttering up the scene. This is our picture that we took. Candelabras are amazingly huge, and the glass cups used to contain oil before there was electricity. We poked our heads out of the windows occasionally to see what the view was. These are buttresses that were added at a later date to reinforce the dome. A view from one of the windows looking towards the rival Blue Mosque. Another mosaic filled with gold tile. The gold glitters much more than in these pictures. This is a depiction of how they think the mosaic might have looked when it was complete. You can see how things underneath were plastered over. Kind of looks like a cobweb, doesn't it?